Hi, we human beings, we're creatures of habit. Whether that habit is smoking cigarettes or it's dropping a new video every Monday and Friday. Like and subscribe. We like our routines. So it should surprise absolutely no one that predator stings still work. You would think that these people would understand that there is a high chance that if they're talking to someone underage online, that person must be a decoy for some larger sting operation. But they never get to that thought. They're always caught in the trap, as is the case with today's video, where a man drives literally across state lines 50 miles to hook up with who he believes to be a child. However, it's not a child, it's actually a police officer, and he ends up falling right into their little trap. So the officer was able to use an app called Hush to communicate with this predator. The cop actually played two roles. They played the role of the decoy, and then they also played the role of the decoy's friend on another app called Kick, which is actually notorious for being, this messaging app that kids use. That shit's been around since I was in middle school. But the officer, it looks like, impersonated a friend of a person that the predator met on Hush. Renteria is the predator, and so Renteria was under the impression that this person was 15, 16, because he says yes, and he told me you were 15, almost 16, and then he states, I told him I was into younger girls, and the decoy says, yeah, I turned 16 in January, and then that they've dated a 22-year-old before, to which he replies, meaning I'll be your oldest. So it looks like Renteria was having a conversation with the decoy on Hush, and then I guess they switched over to a different, decoy account, and that's the one they're luring him with, actually. And according to his Kick account, it looks like he's had that account for 3,839 days. That means he's had his Kick account for literally 10 years, 10 and a half years, and he's 25, which means it's very likely that he was getting groomed on Kick long before he became a predator, which is very unsettling. Like I said, back in like 2015, which is 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago, that site was still rampant with predators. So it looks like this is just a guy passing the trauma along to another person, or at least trying to. Luckily, this isn't a real person. The two arranged to meet in a park, and according to the text, you can see he's worried about the police, but he has no need to worry because the decoy assures him that there's only like one cop in the park and that they're pretty dumb. See, it's funny because this is a police officer saying this, to which he replies with this disgusting line that I'm not going to read. So now that the trap has been laid out, all that's left to do is for the police to show up, hook, line, and sinker.
Show me your hands! Police! Open the door! Slowly step out, both hands in the air! Just take a step forward. Turn around, face the other way. Take 2 steps to your left. Your left. All right, step back. Keep coming to the sound of my voice.
Bro said, keep coming to the sound of my voice, lol.
Coming. Stop. Take 1 more step left. 1 more. 1 more. Okay, with your left hand, grab your top of your hood of your shirt and lift it up. Lift up your shirt. Higher. Don't reach. All right, slowly turn.
Charles Young, 75105, Dodge Journey, black in color.
Keep turning. Keep turning. Stop. Take another step left. 1 more. Stop.
Slide to the left, crisscross. I know that the cops are just trying to like make sure they're safe and that this guy doesn't have like any weapons on him or anything, but I am much more fond of the idea that they're just humiliating him for the fun of it. Take 2 steps to the left and then to the right and then do a twirl. Now say I'm a pretty ballerina. Make sure you look into my body cam as you say it. So it looks like the police caught him with his pants down, not literally, not even 30 minutes before he was arrested. Just then he was still texting the decoy, specifically details about what he looks like right now, where to meet him, where he is, and the entire time that he's texting her, he's kind of skeptical that he could be getting set up, but it never deters him from still going through with it, because why would it? Bro is no match for the power of boners, apparently, and his texts are pretty hilarious. Particularly this interaction, when he said he was 5 minutes out, I asked him for what color shirt he was wearing. He said, yeah, if I see you, I'll drive closer to you. I replied, KK, that works. Rentiera said, said, "I'm sure I'll see the squad cars," which he didn't, or which he did, but he didn't have enough time to react. I, the decoy, said, "Huh?" Rentier said, "Do you know who Chris Hansen is?" I replied, "No." "Who's Satoru Gojo? Who is that? I've never heard of him." Who doesn't know who Chris Hansen is? And he still fell for this? He deserves to go to jail. And can we just acknowledge the GOAT Chris Hansen? He truly set the standard for what predator catching should be. Even the literal police are using his own tactics right now. Come on now. Shout out to Chris Hansen. Yeah, and these are just some more creepy ass messages that he sent. In these, he reveals that he's still a virgin, I guess. And it looks like his plan is to meet here and then go find a place to do the deed. And then he acknowledges that what he's doing is illegal. And he even says he'd have his life ruined if he gets caught. And then, get this, he comforts the decoy and lets her know that he doesn't want her, that he doesn't like her just for her body. If she wants more than sex, he can provide that, because that's obviously what he wants. He obviously doesn't want to just use this person for their body. He wants a loving relationship, and he thinks that a healthy relationship can be spawned from this. Luckily, what he thinks doesn't matter, and he is in jail. What does it say that the man was that cautious about this being a sting, and yet he still fell for the sting? Like, he saw the trap laid out before him, but the reward was just too great for him to pass up. He needed to take the chance. It's just so fucking weird and creepy. Like, and now if he even had anybody in his life left to support him, I'm sure they're all gonna leave now. No one wants to support a pedophile, buddy. So yeah, now back to your regularly scheduled programming of this guy getting arrested.
Do not move. Do you understand? Yes. All right, now get down to your knees.
Yeah, there we go.
Hands on top of your head. Do not move.
So you look like that car that we have here. What's the
Car.
favorite? That car?
Do not move. Your arms out to your side.
Anyone in the
Lay on your
vehicle?
stomach.
Get out of the vehicle.
Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach now. Arms out to the side. Palms up. Palms up. Take him on that side. Yep. Cover. Go ahead, holster, get the left. Walk over this way for me. Okay. Stay right here. All right, move your feet apart. I'm going to do a better search. Nothing on you, correct? No weapons? Nope. Nothing that's going to poke or stick me? Nope. Nothing illegal? Nope. Okay.
Really using that right to remain silent, I see. Usually this is the point where other predators would be like, "Damn, I knew this was a sting," or "I knew it was too good to be true." This guy is just dead silent. It's almost like he's actually disappointed that there's not a child here. How do these people still fall for this? how successful is he usually that he's willing to take this chance? I just find it crazy that To Catch a Predator premiered probably, when did that premiere? November 11th, 2004. So since 2004, this method of predator catching has been mainstream. People have been aware of this for 22 years. 22 years people have been aware of this method of predator catching, and predators still fall for it. I mean, and obviously Chris Hansen didn't invent the sting operation, but I don't think anybody was worried about catching predators until, Chris Hansen came on the scene and was doing it on national television. Now here we are, 2026. I'm watching the same method get played out by a random group of police officers somewhere, and predators are still falling for the same tricks. These people are truly stupid. The lowest of the low of society.
We can put him in, Mike. Right. Have a seat here, sir. Watch your head. There you go. Seatbelt. You got his wallet, bro? Oh, they got it.
The male had told the undercover persona that she would be the perfect candidate for his disturbing fantasies, describing in detail what he would do to her the first time they met. Officers discovered condoms in his possession and bedding in the trunk of his vehicle.
And so if it wasn't bad enough that this guy was already a predator, I don't think you can trust anyone who's into rape play, regardless of if they're into, minors or adults. That's weird. Not to kink shame. I just think that's weird. You want to pretend to violate someone's, what? That doesn't even, if you're willing to pretend to do that, what's stopping you from going out in the real world and just doing it? So specifically what he said to her is, "I'm very much into rape play, and you would be the perfect candidate." I asked what that meant, and said I had never never done that. Rentier responded, so we would pretend to not know each other, and then we would go somewhere secluded, and I'll come up and we pretend I'm just a random man forcing myself on you, which is what this is essentially, because that's what you are, a random man to what you believe is a child. You'll pretend to fight me off and I'll pretend to be forceful, so we'll be fucking, but you would pretend you don't want it, and I'll pretend I'm forcing you to be my toy. Yeah, nothing's hotter than a woman screaming for her life. Oh my god, dude, holy shit. This is next level degeneracy. And of course, when they were searching his vehicle, they found condoms. So, and you know what? I hope he gets his fantasy in jail. Something tells me that's something he'll get, just not in the way he was wanting maybe. But luckily they fucking got his ass, and he'll hopefully be spending time behind bars. So they take him down to the station and he gets booked.
Walk this way for me. We're gonna go right around here. And walk right to the door for me, please. Okay, perfect. Stand there. Don't move. And we're gonna go into this room right over here, sir. Lights. Goes off. Okay. All right. Just cameras are on, so someone get your property from my car, and then I'm gonna come back right in here. Okay. The cameras are on, so for some reason, if you're experiencing something or you need help, just wave your hands. I'll be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. Okay.
Seeing him cut the lights on in that room was like seeing an Easter egg in a movie. I was like, whoa, that's the room. That's the room where they do interrogations. Even though like in different body cam footage videos, it's obviously in different places. But anyway, there are more text messages. There's more text messages from this creep where he's giving good morning texts, and he's just basically telling this decoy how hard she makes him, a child, again, mind you. And he even says that he wishes he lived in her neighborhood and that they met before she was 14, I guess insinuating he would have kidnapped her. So this guy, he loves digging his own grave.
Later during questioning, the male admitted guilt and wrote an apology letter to the supposed mother. The male was charged with use of a computer to facilitate a child crime and child enticement. His bond was set at $35,000, and as a condition of his release, he cannot have contact with anyone under 18 and may only use internet-capable devices to communicate with his attorney. He was later charged with 2 additional felonies after a forensic search of his phone uncovered CSAM.
Yeah, so surprise, surprise, this guy had CSAM on his phone. Literally no one is surprised by that. Shit, he might have hard drives in his apartment. You might want to go get a warrant to search for that. But at least he wrote a letter to the, mother of the decoy. They made him write an apology letter. If there was a real woman behind that, if there's a real mother to apologize to, this man wanted to rape your child and then you get a letter of apology, what is that gonna do? That letter of apology might as well just be another piece of toilet paper. That's about as much as it's worth. Obviously, these officers were just fucking with him because there was a decoy. There is no mother, but they made him write a letter, I guess, in the hopes that it would do something. Actually, I think they just did it to fuck with him because it accomplishes nothing. Let's read the letter. There are no words to describe how awful the situation is. This should have never been occurring. I can't tell you how awful I feel and how much I've just lost. You can rest assured I'm going to face the consequences and never recover from them. I hope you can at least move on and live a better life than I will. I hope you can feel safe knowing that I'll never get to be a free citizen. I don't expect forgiveness. I never do. I never do? He's done this before and he's never expected forgiveness? How many times has he apologized? But I hope you can keep moving on with this behind you. Yeah, I'm sure that's genuine and it's coming from a place of actual guilt and not probably because he was forced to write this by the police. Fuck this guy. I hope he rots in jail. I hope he dies in jail. But anyway, that's the end of the video. God, I hate pedophiles, man. What is this world? Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.